Hello, listeners and viewers of the Talking Parra podcast, episode number. Well, we're finals week this week, so I think we're up to episode 25. I think so.
26.
26. Okay, episode 26. Let's just start that again. Hello, listeners. Welcome and viewers to the Talking Parra podcast, episode number 26. We are all pumped because it's finals, semi-finals, best time of the year for rugby league. We have on the panel tonight, we have Matty Tate from Tate Sports Cards. We have Hayden from the Entertain House. We have myself, Troy, from the Parra podcast. And we also have Adam, our illustrious host. Now, tonight, we're going to go through our best Parra win of the season, our worst Parra loss of the season. We're going to talk about last week's game against the Melbourne Storm at CommBank Stadium. We're going to talk a little bit about last year's semi-final against the Panthers. We're going to preview the big game, 1 versus 4 at Bluebet Stadium this coming Friday. We're going to have some other special news as well during the podcast as well. So over to you, Adam. No doubt you're pumped. It's finals time, and especially after that win last week against the Storm.
Yeah, wonderful, Troy. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, as you said, it's that time of year, isn't it? You can smell it in the air. You know, the days start to get warmer. September rolls around. Look, it's good we're not like the Knights and flying off to Bali. We're preparing for a game. What's this? Out of the last 5 seasons, obviously, playing finals football. So that's always fantastic. Obviously, that 1 year we don't want to talk about. But I said you can really smell it. There's a lot of excitement. You start to struggle to sleep at night because you're getting excited for games. You're getting ready for that moment. And look, as you said, we've got a lot to talk to and look to get through tonight before we head out there on Friday night to the Paradise takeover of Penrith. So obviously we can see that blue and gold army out there in full force. Let's start. It's a very beginning. It's a very good place to start. No, I'm not quoting the Sound of Music. What I'm doing is we're going to give a little bit of a season review. So look, we finished the year. Obviously you play 24 games in a season. You get 1 bye, 25 games. We finished with 16 wins. So for those mathematicians amongst us, it's a very simple equation. We won 66% of our games, 2/3, as Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 out bad. And obviously finished on 34 points difference of 119, and finishing in 4th place, most importantly, after that win last week. Look, I'll quickly go through our wins very quickly because it's obviously said there's 24 games.
16 of them, mate. That might take a while.
Is there? Yeah, I'm not going to go through wins. I'm going to go through the score lines. Obviously started our season off at home, 32-28 win over the Titans. Went down 18-16 against Cronulla in round 2. For a 28-24 win, obviously away at Amy Park, which was a huge result. Then a 48-14 win in round 4 home against St George Illawarra. Travelling the Gold Coast in round 5 with a 26-20 win. Unfortunately, went down the Tigers 21-20 on Easter Sunday there at CommBank Stadium before we got a win on 39-2 against the Knights at McDonald Jones Stadium. Certainly a game I remember. As you can see already, boys, the form's pretty inconsistent there, isn't it? It's win-loss as we get to this side of the season. Made that smart choice to take that game to Darwin against the Cowboys, and we all doom and gloom after that one with a 35-4, probably one of our worst performances of the year. I'll come back to that thought, actually. For a 22-20 huge win over at May against Penrith. I know we're all there that night. We kind of thought this team can do something. This team can do something special. Before once again falling away the week after and going away at Magic Round and losing 31-24 to the Roosters. Round 11, 22-20 win at home. Round 12, 28-20 win against Canberra in Canberra. Defensively, huge game. And then round 13, we beat the Bye pretty comprehensively, which was always good to see. Once again, true to form, we slipped up a game 34-4 against the Bulldogs at Accor Stadium before a round 15, 26-16 win against the Roosters at home. Losing the week after, once again, 30-12 to South Sydney at Accor, before bouncing back for a 28-20 win over the Tigers at Leichhardt Oval in July, round 17. Round 18 saw a 28-18 win over the Warriors at home, before once again losing the week after to Brisbane, 36-14. Look, it gets better soon, trust me, because round 20, 34-10 over Penrith, obviously a game we all remember. Huge result, knocking off Penrith twice in the year. 36-20 win, and we're on a roll. We've won 2 in a row after knocking off Manly at Brookvale Oval. Unfortunately, then we fall away once again, 26-0 to South Sydney at home. I'll come back and say that could be one of our worst performances, but not always for those reasons. And then 42-6 win, 53-6 win at Suncorp. And then obviously last week, knocking off Melbourne at Combank Stadium, 22-14. So there's our wins and losses, boys. I'll hand it over to you, Troy, straight away. Want your best win of the season and obviously the worst loss of the season.
Okay, so I've had a look at the season, and obviously you just went through it there. Look, I couldn't narrow it down to one, as probably you guys probably haven't either.
Okay,
I know. So I'll run through them quickly. Obviously, last week versus Storm, that was a massive win. Biggest club game, as we said last week, in 17 years. So that was a massive win. The round 9 game against Penrith at home to end their 19-game winning streak at home. That was fantastic. The round 3 game, the Golden Point game against Melbourne in Melbourne, Ray Stone, his last ever Parramatta moment, scoring the winning try. But the win that I think was probably the best was the win in Canberra, 28-20. Canberra were ahead 18-16 at halftime. So, and most Parra fans would know that we don't have the best record down in Canberra either. We seem to struggle down there. We've won, I think, the last couple of games down there, but before that, we really do struggle. But to come from behind and win the game 28-20, that was probably my best win. In terms of worst losses, I've only got 2. So I had 4 great wins, two losses. And obviously you mentioned the first one there, the Cowboys in Darwin, 35-4. For some reason, we've got a pretty reasonable record up there. We beat the Cowboys last time we played them up in Darwin. But couldn't get the job done there. And I think that's where the Cowboys sort of run really sort of started throughout the season. But the one for me was the Bulldogs lost 34-4. They were last on the ladder at the time. It was after a bye. I don't know whether they were a bit, not hungover, but you know what I mean, after a bye, a bit relaxed. But then they come out and beat the Roosters the week after. So, but yeah, just disappointing to lose to the Bulldogs there. And like the Cowboys, I think that's where their run started of winning their games throughout the season. So some good games, some bad games, some good memories, some bad memories.
Yeah, that's footy, isn't it? I'm quickly going to run through one before everyone else snakes them. I'm going to be the negative first and go the worst loss. Look, I'm going to give honourable mentions. I'm not going to pick out 3 like Troy did, but honourable mentions to the Cowboys game. I'll give the excuse of the weather, but defensively, the Cowboys just way too good for us on that night and frustrated us. A couple of late tries obviously made that score blow it as well. South Sydney game at home, 26-0 loss, honourable mention. Look, I don't think it was terrible, that game. It was just one of those games where nothing went our way, as if in bounced the ball. They scored a couple of lucky tries off kicks, didn't quite go away. It's when I noticed a change in Parramatta, though. It's when I noticed a change in our attacking play. We tried to run different things that are now working for us. So to me, when everyone came out that game negative, I come out thinking, if we can make that click, we're a team that can win the comp. We started seeing those short side raids, those, double sweep plays and a couple of other things that we've been running as well. I don't want to give away too much in case Ivan's listening. But I was correct because, look, we haven't lost a game since then. So what we were practicing did work. And it's worked, obviously, in the last 3 games. My worst loss of the year, once again, yeah, same thing, Troy. It was the Bulldogs game. Even like when we got turned up against Brisbane at home, we still had a crack. And once again, they bounced the ball. That Bulldogs game, we should have scored a try early. And I think that was the worst thing that happened to us, getting that try taken off us, because we thought, oh, how easy is this going to be? We're just going to roll through these pricks. And we didn't. After that try, nothing happened. Nothing went away. They got a couple of lucky tries once again, and we just couldn't get back in the game. So that's my worst one. Look, more honourable mentions, but obviously the Penrith game, just for the moment of being there and knocking off them, how angry their fans were, how much mouth they had, how much fun we had, and how we probably could have got our heads kicked in on the way out the ground, but we didn't. My name is Troy Warner, FYI, if you're looking for me on Friday night. And I'm the guy down the bottom right. No, but obviously my game was 28-24, round 3 win over Melbourne. I mightn't say it was the best game if I wasn't there, but everyone I spoke to after that game said it was a great game of neutral rugby league as well, had everything. I didn't think so when Melbourne scored a level the game with a minute and a half to go. I thought it was not exciting at all. But the moment of the game, we've been through obviously the history probably twice in the last 3 episodes of being down there and getting beat by those cheating pricks. And obviously, I'll just say what was going on in my life at that current time. The moment of that game just made everything worth it to be there. Made all that heartache of life, all the heartache of pain of going down there and losses. It just made it worth, and that's one of the best things about rugby league, isn't it? To have those highs and those moments. So that's definitely my best moment. Hayden?
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go to that Penrith game as our best win of the season. It was obviously a close margin. I do want to give an honourable mention to our game against the Roosters. Now, we didn't score a point in the second half, but I thought it really tested our defence, and we only let in 1 try when the Roosters were definitely coming for us. And the Roosters, obviously, they had a funny old season, but they were still a very quality side and finished in the top 8. So I thought we did a really good job against them at home. And I remember that Junior Paulo, who had an outstanding match that game, was actually backing up from Origin. So honourable mention of that game is probably my second best win of the year, just the defence. Because defence wins comps. It comes down to that. And we kind of saw a different side than to what we've seen in that consistency. I thought it was pretty good. Obviously, in attack, we took the foot off the pedal. As for the worst loss of the season, I'd give an honourable mention to that Cowboys game, and I was very close to going with that Cowboys game. But, Darwin, nothing seemed to go away. For me, it's the game against the Broncos at home. So I picked 2 home games here. Obviously, the game against the Broncos, we were fighting for a top 4 spot. We were showing everyone that we're ready to compete for that top 4 spot. We did finish in 4th position, lucky enough. But we had a really good start to that game. We were in it early on. We were battering them, getting them tired, and they just really ran over the top of us. And I think a lot of home fans, including myself, were really disappointed with the performance with that game.
Yeah, Matt, yourself?
Yeah, I'm just going to go straight up. Cowboys.
All right, wonderful.
Nah, Cowboys was the worst for me. It just didn't look like we're in that game at all. Late try right at, I don't know, when last 10 minutes when Hayes scored. But yeah, it just looked like the heat got to us. Went up there for a bit of a holiday, I think. So went to Reptile Parks and stuff. But yeah, best win. I'm going to go a different one, guys. I'm going to go Dragons because it was the first time. Don't say it, Troy. I know what everyone's thinking.
The
Cartwright flick pass to Moses, probably the best try of the year, but it showed us the Parra what we can do to sides and the razzle dazzle and not the slow grinding, the razzle dazzle plays.
It's surprising nobody mentioned the Easter Monday game against the Tigers. I mean,
we
always have tight clashes against them.
For me, it didn't. Yeah, we had a real tight one in 2019, didn't we? For me, it didn't hurt because they wanted it more. I don't think we did heaps wrong that game, really. Like, we weren't perfect. We did well to fight back in the game, but Hastings and the Tigers, they copped a lot of shit and they just wanted to win more. And I'll give them credit for that win. They turned up. It wasn't we didn't turn up.
It was like a few years ago, I forget what team it was against, but the Gold Coast Titans, they had their first win in 365 days, and it kind of felt like that as well, where the Tigers, you'd seen them struggle at the start of the year, but as you said, they just turned up and you kind of felt happy for them in a sense.
I felt happy for Hastings because he copped a lot of shit and I always rated him as a player. It didn't really affect me, that loss, and look, it was due. Like, they hadn't beaten us at, their jungle, which is our paradise. But they hadn't beaten us there. So you work out probability of football. As I said, football is a funny game. You can't win them all. If we were sitting here 24 wins from 24, one, minor premiership without losing a game, I'd be more nervous for next week if that was the case. If my team ran away and got the minor premiership by a comfortable win, I'd be nervous about next week. Yes, I'm talking to you, Penrith fans. All right, let's move on.
But the pleasing thing is that we didn't lose 2 games in a row, I don't think, during the year.
No, we didn't.
I seem to have a random Penrith fan with me right now. He's a bit scared by the comments at him.
He's a bit of a clown, isn't he? All right. Let's sorry, I'm a bit of a joker today. Let's move on to last week. More today. Yeah, today. Obviously, look, it was a massive night out there at Combank Stadium last Thursday. Like I said, it was a bit of finals football come early, bit of revenge for all that heartache against Melbourne over the years. Obviously ran away with a 22-14 win. The scoreline doesn't reflect the game. They were never in the game at all. But I'm not even going to say we turned off at the end because I don't blame the boys. We were never going to lose that game. We took players off, obviously gave a few players a few rests. I'll get to the key moments obviously soon, but for me, I don't know what BA missed in that regard. I don't know if he just wasn't worried because he knew we had the game rest, but with 15 minutes to go, I think everyone here, everyone in the stadium, probably everyone watching at home on TV and the millions and millions, sorry, it's quoting the rock now around the world, could see that Isaiah Papali'i was gassed, right? Obviously, huge congrats to Isaiah Papali'i. He finished the VB hard-earned index on top for the year. It shows the effort he puts in every game. So with 15 minutes to go in a game you've already won, preparing for the finals, I don't know why you wouldn't take him off and give him a rest because all 3 tries, and I'm not saying this lightly, it was the truth, all 3 tries were Isaiah's fault. He was gassed. He got lazy on the inside. He didn't shut the gate. They tucked a player back under, and every single one of them was those little effort areas that we see him do week in, week out, and look, it's the kind of things I would have expected to see from Sean Lane 10 weeks ago before he turned into one of the best players in the comp. And he has. It's those little effort areas that he just was missing because he was absolutely screwed. So what I'm saying is those last 3 tries from Melbourne didn't worry me. We had the game won and we're pretty all over him. I'll go to you. Well, I'm going to give my moment of the game first because I had him first try scorer. Look, I don't know if I said it to you boys, but I said it to a lot of people. I don't know if I said it on last week's podcast. I went to Melbourne player first try scorer, but with my bets, I backed Dylan Brown at $18 25 times. I said it to all the boys around me. I said, Dylan Brown scored the first try tonight at getting him. They said, why? Why are you so confident? I said, when we played Dylan Brown last time, he cut in pieces. That's step 1. Step 2 of the winning money process is everyone is concentrating on how much Sean Lane has been doing the offloads. Melbourne would have done so much research. So what we used to see, and this is why Sean Lane's playing so well, is we used to see teams be able to double up, triple up on Sean Lane and leave Dylan free. Right? That's why Dylan was cutting through. What it's turning into now is the reason Lane's getting so much space is because of how well Dylan's playing. Right? So obviously Dylan's taken off him. So Melbourne, I knew they'd concentrate on Lane. So I knew Dylan would obviously have that opportunity. We beat 4 blokes 1-on-1, but there wasn't 2 going for him in the tackle at all, was there? So my moment of the game was Dylan Brown's first try, just because I called it would happen. And obviously great footwork. Look, he got a bit of luck on the ground when not getting wrapped up, but, that's my moment of the game. All right, I'll go to you first this time, Matt.
It was entertaining, to say the least. It would have been good to keep him 22-0, but, yeah, Isaiah just got gassed and left that huge gap for Harry Grant to go through for their first try. But yeah, it was entertaining. It was what we've been calling for. Like the bench rotation, all of a sudden, BA's got it fine-tuned. Take Paulo off. Have RCG plays pretty much the full first half and then swaps. And yeah, he's got the Matto starting from the bench. Like it's like he's been tricking us all year. And then he's like, for the last 3 weeks, we'll just throw it all together and show them what's coming in finals and finish where the sentence we keep hearing is we've done what we need to do to finish where we wanted to finish. So, yes, it was a very good game. My moment of the game, I'm going to call it now, was the cutout pass over Coates to Sivo and just him run. Like
he ran. The boy can run.
He did not look inside. He did not try and kick it inside, even though I think it was Dylan calling for it on the inside. He just ran. So,
and holy shit, he's actually fast.
Yeah, he just finally put it together and put the foot down instead of just getting to that trot when he's in the clear. He finally put the foot down and just went, "Nah, I'm going."
And I'll say this now. Micah's ACL injury was probably the best thing to happen to him. He has come back a lot smarter. He's come back a lot smaller, but it's like he all of a sudden gets football. And look, I'm treading this carefully, but Fijians, obviously, they're just naturally gifted athletes. I'll say it's because I've got a lot of Fijian mates, and we've spoken about it before. It took Semi a little while to understand the game. They haven't grown up with rugby like us. They haven't had the ability to play it all the time. They haven't had, obviously, the high standard. So for him to come over and be where he is after only playing the game for probably only 7th or 8th season over here, obviously taking his country stuff as well. He's just getting better and better. I'm gonna sidetrack quickly and tell you a little story about Micah. There's a Newcastle Rugby League grand final this week between Maitland and Macquarie, and Macquarie coach Stephen Kidd, who I'm good mates with. He actually got offered Micah Sivo at the Cessnock Goannas about 8 years ago, and they knocked him back. I believe he ended up going. Was it Gundagai he ended up going to?
Yeah.
Gundagai, yep.
Gundagai, and then Fitler, I think, brought him to Penrith. Found him.
Yeah, and he was offered to Cessnock. So look, he could have ended up sitting in reserve grade at Newcastle, but it's very unlikely because if he was playing for a local team, they would have ignored him. But there you go. So not many people could say they've knocked back Micah Sivo and said he wouldn't be good enough for the local Newcastle competition, could they?
Yeah.
All right, Hayden, we'll go to you.
Yeah, it was a great game. Great to get the win, as Matt said. Probably could have kept them to nil or obviously less tries. I think the Harry Grant one was pretty preventable. But as for the other two, as soon as I think it was Meany scored, obviously Nofaluma's try made it really close. But as soon as Meany scored, I knew that there was like an oncoming storm coming. So that was a bit of a fear. But my moment of the game was the Bromwich tackle. Moses to be, 70, 80 kilos and make a tackle that big on a big man. I think it's one of the tackles of the season, personally. I thought it was a really good tackle. Moses had a great game himself as well. Busted the finger early on. He was grabbing at the finger. Had a few worries there, but really exceeded expectation throughout the match. And, yeah, great to get that spot in the top 4. One that Troy got the score right.
He did. We'll get to that. Don't worry. We'll get to that. We're going to give him his moment. Look, I think Mitch actually surprised himself with that tackle as well as surprising the 24,000 in attendance. So, Troy, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, look, well, I think all you guys have pretty much covered what I was going to say, to be honest. But, Mitchell Moses, obviously outstanding, especially after being smashed by Justin Olam as well. Not many people like to get up after those sort of tackles, but he did. Gutho, he was outstanding anywhere and everywhere again, and we saw that with that pass to Micah. Just quickly, because you spoke about it before, Dylan Brown try, just the quick mindset to jump back up with no hands on him. It was a split second, so just to have that mindset, split second, get back up, run, score, great stuff. My man player of the match was actually Michael Sivo, actually. A lot of people went Dylan Brown, Mitchell Moses, Clint Gutherson, but yeah, Michael Sivo, just because, he did score that try, and we did see him run. A little bit of a kicking game as well. He tried to kick inside as well, but that didn't work. But just his defence on Xavier Coates as well. I think twice he put him out over the sideline and prevented tries. So, and it was great to have 23,000 crowd at CommBank, which ended the season with the Parramatta Eels having the highest average home crowds in New South Wales for season 2022, which is a great result.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's touch on my man of the match because no one's mentioned him. I actually think it was Regan Campbell-Gillard. And I can't remember if it was Matt or Adam earlier that mentioned that he played pretty much that full first half. He had an outstanding game. He had some big run meters. I think he was about 180 meters for the match. But, yeah, my man of the match is Regan Campbell-Gillard. Yeah,
I'm going to give an honourable mention to Reg. They said he played that first 40. We'll quickly touch on that rotation. So I think it was about 35 minutes. It looks like as we've been asking for, we're going to always see Reg and Junior on the field, one of them on the field, So it looked like Junior was coming back on with 5 minutes ago for Reg. Obviously, I think we dropped the ball and Melbourne ended up on the attack for a bit, so we never got to make that sub, so he finished off the half and played 50 straight. But it looked like Junior was going to come on with 5 minutes ago. I'm going to give a mention to Junior as well. 21 runs, 216 metres, 21, that's not even his. He only made 12 tackles. What's his? No. I was going to give him 21 tackles. We only made 12 tackles, which is actually not a lot of tackles for a bloke in the middle. So it shows you how much, which I'm going to get to next, but that was in 49 minutes. it shows you how much that Melbourne were throwing the ball around. But my man of the match was actually Gutho. Look, he's been brilliant for the last probably 4 or 5 weeks, hasn't he, since he won this run? And his effort areas up there, once again, everyone says about Gutho is just all effort. He mightn't be technically the best fullback. He mightn't be the quickest fullback. He mightn't have the best step. He's not going to break that game like, your Teddy or your Latrell can with power or speed. But it's those little efforts, and it's not so much what he did. You might have even seen it happen on TV, but watching him at the game, if there was a bloke that got an arm free, if he was there, he was sniffing around that ruck. He was bouncing from side to side, ready to go wherever we had the ball. So that's why I gave him the man of the match. Matt, first your man of the match, and we'll move on.
I'm going to go Gutho as well. I think we've been calling for it for a while. I think earlier in the year we saw him when players would go through, had the ball free, he'd be worried about setting up the next play with Mitch or someone else. But, yeah, Gutho is starting to run through those gaps and get the offloads. And, yeah, he's even like his kick returns. Does that thing where he slides on his back and gains a few extra meters. And, yeah, I think Gutho well deserved it. And, yeah, hopefully another great performance this week. But also, just a quick shout out to a Storm player, Kenny Bromwich, for coming out. Hayden was there. So, obviously, with the concussion and that to Mitch, he didn't have to come out, but he came out, signed autographs, got photos, and, yeah, he was really good with the fans.
Yeah, not only that, he was shaking hands of not only us, but other Eels jerseys and literally taking the time to say, look, I hope you're having a good night tonight. Congratulations on your thing. For another team to congratulate another team, it's something I haven't seen before. So, yeah, it's great for you to mention that, Matt.
And just another shout out as well. I mentioned there was one curious spectator there at Combank last Thursday night.
Oh, yeah.
None other than Mr. Ivan Cleary. So obviously he knew that he was going to play either Parramatta or Penrith. Spoke to him after the game. Parramatta or Melbourne. And spoke to him after the game, got a picture with him. He was quite good with the fans. He said that Parramatta were quite impressive on Thursday night. So he didn't give too much away, but they were impressive apparently.
Wonderful. All right. So just to recap on that, Matt likes Gutho on his back. Kenny Bromwich is enjoying time with the fans before moving and retiring to the Redcliffe Dolphins. Enjoy your retirement, Kenny. And Troy and Ivan Cleary have some kind of weird bromance that only they know. All right, moving on. Anyone else got anything to add quickly? No, are we moving on? All right. Troy's gone.
He's got he just pushed over
there, is he? Ivan's rocked up the Parra cave to say hello. All right. He's a dummy. He's a dummy like a dinner. I'm going. All right. Let's get to it, Troy. This is your moment. First of all.
Is it?
I would like to declare, Troy, I haven't looked back at the stats, but I know he's got the most. I would like to declare Troy the winner of the minor premiership for the score predictions and our bowl predictions. He's come away with the most for the year, for sure. He finished off with an absolute cracker, predicting the 22-14 scoreline. But here's the thing, Troy, before I get to all them, regular season doesn't matter, mate. You've got to turn up. It's a new ball game. All right? So
the reset button's been here.
Well, just send me the 100K now, and I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, it's not super K. I went 30-12. Hayden went 30-16. Matt went 28-12, which was actually quite respectable for us. We usually all get one of us usually gets nowhere near. But look, I think Troy might have gone. Did you go tap on the box of Brad Arthur or something? Because you're up in the corporates we saw. Did you go tap on Arthur's box? Oh, he led in 14 points.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It was just a fluke, mate. Just a fluke. Just a guessing game.
Look, Matt nailed Dylan Brown first try scorer, as I did, but I went obviously Justin Olam. Xavier Coates for Troy and Tom Opacek. Look, when we actually predict opposition try scorers, we get it. I went to Dylan Brown double. I was 50% there. Troy, Storm to score first 8 points. Well, that was nowhere near, Troy. I'm stripping that trophy off you. You've been done 2 books.
I think the points, the score is more important, I reckon.
Yeah, that's fair, yeah. Hayden, Junior Paulo try assist. Don't think that happened either. And Matt obviously went Jacob after the last try scorer, which also didn't happen. All right, there's our predictions. I've actually remembered to do it, so congratulations to me. Look, we're at the 30-minute mark of the show, so we're going to do it now. We've obviously been giving a competition on our Facebook and our Instagram for 4 tickets to give away. The final 4 tickets available. Obviously, a sold-out game. I believe it's the only giveaway going around. I've entered everyone's names on a list here, so I'm going to quickly random generate a name. So give me a second. I've put every number down.
Just talk amongst yourselves for a moment whilst
Yeah.
Adam just...
Can someone get me some music?
I think there is a bit of background music here. I don't know if it works, but let me try.
Don't worry, I've got it. I've got the number.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Number 17, which means our winner on my list is, I'm going to the Instagram list here because it's the first 17 is Scotty G Tree. So Scotty, if you're listening to the podcast, which I hope you are, because you should be if you're on our Instagram, you're the winner of the 4 tickets. So please message either the Instagram or the Facebook page. And
congratulations, Mr. Tree.
Congratulations.
Hopefully you and your family enjoy that game. He's put here that family and friends, all Parra supporters, because you want the crowd to be blue and gold. So
great.
Exactly what you want.
And will he be picking those tickets up from the Eels get-together, Adam, or...?
Oh, he can if he wants to. I can just send him to him. But look, I'd love to see him to get together. But we'll talk more about the get together at the end. So
just quickly, guys. I don't know if you boys knew about this, but you might have seen it in recent weeks at the stadium. The L Eels, which is an initiative for, I believe, Westmead's Children's Hospital. They have these L Eel Mexican kind of eel style masks. I've spoken to them. I'll be picking my 2 up at the game. So if you want to get your L Eels mask, make sure you message them on Facebook. Great cause to get behind. 25 a mask. $40 for 2. They're going to be at Penrith, and we're going to rock up in some Mexican masks, some of us.
So perhaps next week on the podcast, we can all have the masks on.
We could. We could. We'll never know who each other is.
How do they go with glasses?
For the week off, Troy.
How do they go with glasses? Yeah.
Also, just a quick one.
No, stop.
No. Hang on, just a stat.
Let's finish off this first. Back to the ticket giveaway. Obviously, thanks to us guys here at Talking Parra. Thanks to Troy at Parra's the Parra Cave Podcast for donating those tickets. So, right, Matt, take them away.
Just a quick one. We're the only team to score 20-plus points in 3 consecutive years or something against the Storm.
I'm going to sleep so well knowing.
Mate, the stats are just coming out.
All right, no. Are we going
I had it written down. I forgot to say it during the... But anyway,
you got David Middleton
there. The highest grossing film is Top Gun Maverick, mate.
I know. Look, if anyone wants to go on to One Ideal and look at it, there's so many things that could make sense that we're going to win the comp. I think one of them was in 1986, Brett Kenny obviously playing 5'8" Parramatta scored 11 tries. Dylan Brown scored 11 this year. There's all these stats. There's so many of them. Have a look at it. It's called Voodoo.
The Tigers were on a 35-year drought and finished in 4th place in 2005 and went on to win the comp.
Yeah, and the last team to finish 4th was however long ago. I don't know when the comp. Anyway,
does that mean Dylan Brown doesn't score any more tries this year?
No, regular season. He scored 11 tries in regular season.
Okay. Yeah, good to clear that up.
Yeah, that's good. Semi-final time rolling around. Let's quickly go back to it because I saw the interviews yesterday with all the players and Junior made me think of it. You can tell it still burns him, and you can tell he's watched that game. It still hurts him. Round 2 last year, we go down. Was it 8-6? Wasn't it to Penrith up there? Was it in Mackay or Rockhampton? Mackay, somewhere in Queensland that no one cares about. Anyway, sorry. Origins over. We love Queenslanders again because there's so many Parramatta fans out there.
Shout out to the Queensland listeners and viewers.
Shout out to the Queensland listeners. Keep drinking that 4X. But look, 8-6 loss. Hang on, sorry. I can't say any more about the game. The trainer has asked me to stop. All right. Can someone else take it away and talk about the game?
You love that joke, don't you, mate?
Yeah.
You love that joke. No, but look, it was disappointing last year, 8-6. Look, obviously, there was no Reid Marnie. He didn't play. He was out injured. So difference to this year, we had Ray Stone playing hooker. But there was also the Mitchell Moses collar pullback when there was a kick pulled through. I think Blake Ferguson put a kick through, and Mitchell was held back and there was no penalty there, so it could have been a changing point of the game. But many say it was the best.
Ice also got his head taken off in front of the post. It was just
so there could have been. Many say it was the best game of the year, finals and regular season. So look, no doubt it would be burning them from last year, but they'd love nothing more than to beat them this Friday night and get one back over them.
That's it. We obviously saw it leading up to the Penrith game. Obviously at Penrith, it was on the big screen every game, wasn't it? CommBank before the game. The heartbreak of last year and how much it hurt. But you can see it still burns them. So let's hope they're carrying that in the game on Friday, Matt.
Yeah, just some inside info. I can tell you that Junior has watched that game at least 20 plus times. Speaking to a few of his family members. So yeah, it's been their motivation all off season. We saw it drop that game before Penrith game because it was like they were just focused on that game.
As a reserve grade team as well.
Yeah. So
was that game actually Kyle Rodwell's debut?
No, I think Matty's talking this year.
No, this year, yeah, I think, yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the game before round 25 when we played him last year before. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
So when we dropped the game this year before we played them, it was like they were preparing for next year.
Next week.
I know they've done a lot of homework, a lot of tape on Penrith. So yeah, it's most of our players are ex-Penrith, and we heard Reg say in Channel 7 News that him and Isaiah Yeo break all contact 2 weeks leading up to when they're playing each other. So that's pretty full on. Because we all know Reg
doesn't really talk to any Penrith players, does he?
Reg doesn't talk to anybody, let alone.
I thought he would have to talk to him. Like, isn't he their owner?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not talking to your dog.
I think he's a silent owner or something. But
okay. He's got the block representing him.
Yeah, so yeah, but I think the boys have flicked a little switch the last couple of weeks, and as you said, Adam, we've seen them do set plays we haven't seen them do before, and yeah, it's going to be watching Penrith train during the week. They're ready for some short kickoffs and crossfield bombs, and they'll be ready and we'll be ready, and yeah, let's just all get out there and take over the stadium.
Yeah, for sure. Hayden?
Yeah, it's going to be a huge game. Obviously, a sellout. We'll be there.
Last year's semi, aren't we talking about?
Yeah.
Last year's semi.
Troy summed it up. Troy summed it up for me. The fire in the belly with the Mitchell Moses being held back. Obviously, Adam mentioned another key moment with Isaiah high tackle. But yeah, that moment for me really changed the game. We should have been awarded a penalty. You mentioned earlier in the year, we've had it all on the screen. We've seen it. We had a great win out at Bluebet Stadium earlier in the year to get some revenge early on, but now is when it really matters.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get on to it, the big one. Obviously, the game on Friday night at Bluebet Stadium. I'm just going away from that. We've all said the same thing. Bluebet Stadium, Friday night, 7:50. It is the Paradise Takeover. So, look, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Twitter, you can use it on Facebook if you really think you're cool. Hashtag Paradise Takeover. Getting out there. Look, 22,000 seats sold. Penrith fans, we're not moving this game to a call. We want home ground advantage. Look, if you get a chance to get on Twitter or get on anything that Penrith fans are commenting on, we're obviously regretting that decision because it looks like there most likely will be more Parramatta fans there. Even if we've got a 50-50 split, it's pretty good for a week one semi-final, obviously, in Penrith. Yeah, look, I'll go through the team list. There's no changes. There's no changes to our starting team. Obviously, I've gone through the changes their starting team based on last week, but they're pretty much at full strength. We obviously see Nathan Brown returning there to the 18th man for us, which is, I think he'll play. I honestly think he'll play. It's either he's going to play or he's a scare tactic to make him think he's playing because he hasn't been seen, he hasn't been heard of. We know there was some kind of falling out or something. Did anyone get to see the cup? Did he play cup last week? I know he was out injured.
Yeah, he played.
He was pretty fired up during that
Yeah.
game.
Pretty physical.
Yeah, he
Do you reckon
played.
Do you reckon he'd been given a tap on the shoulder and say you're a chance of playing next week if you perform?
Potentially.
Because
yeah.
look, the Nathan Brown that I'm not saying I wanted him out the team, but I didn't want him at lock early in the year. I thought Madison was our best option at lock. We've gone away from that again with starting Murata in the last couple of games, obviously to get that aggression. If Nathan Brown comes out and plays, I'm not going to say his old school Nathan Brown, but a couple of years ago Nathan Brown, not quite wanting to kill people, but wanting to hurt people, it could be great for us. But he can't come out and overplay his hand.
Here's a little smoky thing. Does he play? Does he get a license just to take out Cleary or Luai?
No.
The old tactic. No? The old expendable tactic.
Expendable tactic. I don't know.
You can't get away with it anymore, and it's not worth going out 12 men. Yeah. I'll get to that, but I don't think we need to take out Luai or Cleary. I think they'll do it themselves like they did for New South Wales in Game 3. But for me, Nathan Brown, I'm having shots in left, right, and centre tonight. The boys have been spreading the confidence. I'm going in confident. But for me, Nathan Brown, if he comes out and just plays football, runs hard, that's all he has to do, tuck the ball on the arm. If he gives us 20 minutes of that, it could be a game breaker for us. It could be that.
Here's another question for you. If Brown comes in, who drops off the bench?
Jacob Arthur. I'm actually surprised Arthur's there. I think he's only been there. I know he gives us great coverage. I think he's only really there because was there to cover in case Mitch's finger got worse, which it could have potentially last week. We're bringing him on to give players a rest. Look, if we've got this game won with 10 minutes to go, we can easily bring Nathan Brown on somewhere and we can rotate that. We can bring Brown on to lock. We can put Madison to 5'8". We can put Moses to fullback, put Gutho to hooker if we want to rest our hooker. There's so many options you can do with someone on the bench. I was surprised that Cardi actually wasn't named over Jake. I thought it. I know, Matt. I know it's all right. Don't cry. I thought he could have been the game breaker we needed if we needed, but which I don't think we will. Anyway, that's the team. Anyway, I didn't have to run through it because 1-17 was obviously the same. Look, who wants to go first? Who wants to put their hand up? Where do we win this game? What have we got to do well? I know we've got to score more points than the opposition, so no one say that. We're going to Hayden. We're going to Hayden first.
Going to me? All right. I think Isaiah Yeo. I think he's had a phenomenal season. I think a lot of people will think it'll be Luai and Cleary being back in those combinations, but they've obviously spent a lot of time out. Yeah, they're fresh, but we've seen photos of the kind of training plays on their Instagram. They are preparing themselves for this game. But for me, I think Isaiah Yeo has had a phenomenal season. The other player, he seems to always have a good game at Penrith. I think he might have scored a try against us as well. Dylan Edwards, their fullback, he's been a bit of an unsung hero for Penrith all season. So for me, it's Isaiah Yeo and Edwards to look out for. But it's going to be a great game on Friday night.
Yeah. I'll go through mine before I go to you boys because, look, I've watched the game back, obviously, from there when we played out there. I'm not going to take a lot of the game from we played at Combank. I think we had that game won before Cleary got sent off, obviously, but I want to look at their attack. And their first try out there, I don't know what was it, round 9. Their first try was just a defensive 101 miss. We've seen a lot of our tries conceded this year being just defensive structure issues. And their first try was just a simple 101 miss from Edwards darting over, and Opacek just didn't wrap the ball up correctly and make the tackle. It can happen. Their second try was a bit of razzle-dazzle where they got lucky and kick out, put a sneaky little kick through where I still think that I still think May was off. Was it May that was on that wing? I still think May was offside. Yeah.
But he knocked on leading up to
he dropped that ball.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly right. Yep. So they never should have the ball. So it was a lucky try. Their third try, I'll say it was a defensive structure issue, maybe a little bit this one because Gutho wasn't covering at the back like he should have. They scored off the tip on to kick out on the left-hand side. The impressive thing with that was our centres and wingers can't together. So they jammed correctly. Not many players could do what kick out did. He received the ball here with, it would have been Bailey, I believe, back then, in his face, and he just went bang and tapped it on. It was perfect. It was a good try. And their next try, all they did was isolate Mitchell Moses on the line 1-on-1 against Moses Theodore, I believe it was. None of those tries worry me. They haven't scored any brilliant set play tries. There's no defensive structure issues. They were lucky, or they were well taken, or they were offensive misses. So, to me, I think we win the game in our forward pack again, obviously, which we've done against them twice this year. But I think our halves will do the job over their halves. I've had digs on them before. I said they didn't turn up in Origin. They didn't. But they haven't played enough football together. It's been 7 weeks since Cleary and Luai played together. And if you go back 7 weeks, what's that, round 18? I'm going to quickly get it up. But round 18, was it? Give me 2 seconds. Very organised on this show with my facts and my stats. But I know what I'm thinking. They play.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking they played the Tigers in round. No, they didn't. They didn't even play that game because they got rested after Origin. So when did Luai get injured? Round 19.
Well, no.
Round 12. No, because he played Origin. He turned up for Origin.
Was that was it against the Storm? I think.
Yeah.
At Penrith, wasn't it?
Yep.
It's against the Storm.
Round 17, maybe?
It must have been round 19 because against Cronulla, because he didn't play against us in round 20. So there you go. So round 19 was the last time they played together. So they've had one game together since Origin, since the disappointment of Origin. And that's what it was to them. That one game, they played Cronulla and won 20-10, and that's the game that Cronulla had them on the ropes and they come back, which is obviously, a bit of tough football. It wasn't really a game and a half. So for me, that's where we win the game. I don't think they've played enough football together. That's obviously not taking away from the combination that Dylan and Mitchell have had over the last few weeks. We're seeing those little kicks, the way they're working together. For me, Penrith's danger man is Coruscant for that reason. We need to stop Appy. We need to get the big man at him early. We need to target him in defence and wear him out. Because I believe that Cleary and Luai will take themselves out of the game. I'll go to you now, Matt.
Yeah, I think, as you said, I think Appy and Isaiah, I think limiting, don't let him cross, just put a red line down that halfway line and say, do not let him pass this line. Appy's little darts is dangerous wherever he is. I think their play's almost predictable. They're going to swing it to Crichton and then go back to the big Luai kick out Tago May play. So I think we'll frustrate them. We saw it when we played them at Penrith where they went back to the old cross kick and hope mentality that they used to have a couple years ago. And yeah, I'm looking at Reed, Dylan and Mitch to just kick early, get taught out of position. We saw Mitch jag like 2 40-20s the last game aiming at tall, but yeah, kick early, limit Dylan Edwards, get their forwards going back so they're not hitting up till like the 4th tackle and just, really get in their face and force some mistakes down their end. Just cliche stuff, but yeah, I really think that the boys, we've seen it this year. We've seen it in the trial match against them. We've seen it the last 2 times we played them. As you said, we were already up. We scored 2 tries in 3 minutes or whatever it was before Cleary got taken off. So we know how to play against them. It's just whether we turn up and execute it. So, yeah.
Yep. Troy?
Look, it's going to be a great game, isn't it? Reports today that over 35% of ticket sales are to the Blue and Gold Army. So it's going to be, as we hope, a paradise takeover. But getting to the game, look, it's going to be a massive clash of the front row forwards on both sides. But I think if Junior and Reg can play like they did last week, they can get over the top of Moses Leota and James Fisher-Harris. Similar to what Aiden said, I think Dylan Edwards is a bit of a danger man as well down there at the back. I think Mitchell and potentially Dylan need to kick to the corners instead of the bombs that we usually see. But kick to the corners, find the grass, get the great kick chase down there, pin them down the end, fast line speed, keep them down their end so they're kicking, 30 metres out from their line, so it put a lot of pressure on them. But yeah, I think the crucial person for us is Junior and Reg. I think they lay a platform, and then Mitch and Dylan can play their football out the back. So later on in the week, before the game, I actually spoke to Premiership winning coach Shane Flanagan. So excuse me, just talk about yourself.
Was it an emotional interview? Was it? I love how, sorry, Troy. We can see what you're drinking. I love how you're choking up and you've gone straight to the vanilla cake.
Okay, sorry about that. A bit of a frog in the throat there. So sorry. What's that? Anyway, former Premiership winning coach Shane Flanagan. So I'll share those on the page. Spoke to him for the Parra podcast as well. So I'll share those insights as well. It's good to get his insights into the game as well. So I'll share that on the page as well, so the listeners and viewers can hear his thoughts as well. But yeah, really looking forward to this game. It's a home game for Matty and I, being the locals. So it's always good to get one over the Panthers.
Yeah, I love how you mentioned that local. I'd like to give a shout out to my local team, the Knights, and wish them good luck this. Oh, never mind. All right, let's move on. I'll never miss an opportunity. I've been asking one of your mates all week. He keeps trying to organise to go watch NRL games this week. And I said, oh, yeah, cool. Let's go. What time do the Knights kick off? And he just can't let me know.
NRLW?
NRLW, yeah. I don't even know when the Knights play this week, to be honest. So, obviously, they broke our hearts last week. We'll quickly touch on that. The girls going down 18-16 there. McDonald Jones Stadium, what would be their best performance of the year, obviously, to the girls. So, and they just narrowly went down to a Newcastle team that looks like they're a big chance of winning the comp. So, congrats to the girls on a better display, and obviously that win isn't too far away.
There's a lot of controversy as well with one of the Newcastle tries as well that was awarded, which looked like it touched the grass before the line.
Yeah, quite enjoyed the game. We had a good strip towards the end as well. We stripped the ball back, nearly got down our end, but don't, boys. Terrible.
Anyway,
get an W sponsor anytime soon.
No, not at all. Anyway,
just quickly.
One another. You've only had one just quickly a game. I mean, in the show.
Back to our game, Melbourne and Parramatta. How funny was it with the touch judge getting in the way for Murata's try? They couldn't get the right angle. The touch judge was in the way.
It wouldn't be funny if you had Murata any time in your same game. Obviously, gamble responsibly. All right, let's get on to it before we talk about the Paradise takeover. Let's get our bold predictions ready. I'm going to go first. I'm going big. Parramatta to win 32-10. I'm going a comfortable win.
Okay.
My first try scorer is, I want to say Wonga. I'm going to say Wonga first try scorer because I know he would love scoring against Penrith. And I'm going to give you two bold predictions. Parramatta's first try to come under 8 minutes, under 7 minutes 59 if we're going there. And Parramatta score 3+ tries in the first half. All right.
Got that, Matty?
Getting there.
You're writing it down.
I've actually got a feeling Parramatta are going to be up 20-6 at half time, but I'm not going to go that far. I'm just going to go 3+ tries. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like it's one of those games where
something's in the air, eh?
Something's
in the air.
You can sniff it.
Just looking at the launch as well. Guffo just staring at trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
He actually had his game face on all that season launch when photos were being taken with little kids on stage. Everyone, all the rest of the other captains, they were like smiling, but he had his game face on. He wasn't smiling. He was there for business. So, he's ready.
Yeah, so I can smell something. I feel like it's not the all you can I had for dinner tonight. What it is I can see it coming. I feel we're going to blow them out. I I feel like if we are going to win there, we're going to have to blow them away early, and I think that's what we'll do. I can't see Penrith until the final 10 minutes of the half getting an attacking opportunity. I don't think I see much ball down the ground. We saw it when we played them at Parramatta. It's pretty much what Troy said before, things we have to do, and I feel like that's what we'll do. They'll be kicking out of trouble. Cleary will be looking for those 40-20s. We'll go to you next, Hayden.
I'll go a bit of a closer game than you, Adam. I will tip the boys. I think we'll actually win this game. It's weird because I guess I'm an honest tipper. I tip against us when I think we'll lose, but I genuinely think we can win this game. We've seen us trouble them twice, and you mentioned it, and everyone keeps going, oh, what about Cleary being sent to the sin bin, being sent off the field? But we really had that lead. We were just dominant in that game early on, and then got the win at Bluebet Stadium. So I'm going to go with us by 4 here. I wanted to go a bigger margin. I really, really do, but I do think it'll be tight. I'm going to go 20 points to 16. I'm going to go a safe tip in Micah Sebo, first try scorer. Just quickly, if you like us in the grand final, Micah Sebo has just been released at $20 to score the first try in the grand final. So nice odds there, released.
1 week at a time, Hayden. 1 week at a time, mate.
One week at a time, mate.
And don't forget to gamble responsibly.
Surely we get Sports Bet as a sponsor soon.
I got it.
I was going to go Regan Campbell-Gillard first try scorer, but I just seem to go prop bowl predictions all year. So I'm going to go the opposite. And I'm going to go with you, Adam. I'm going to go with a double, and I've got to get the double points here to get it. So I'm going to say that a player from each team, both Parramatta and Penrith,
will score a try.
No, he's put on report. So one from each team. And then I'm also going to say two try scorers here. I'm going to go Micah Sebo, my first try scorer. But if he scores at any time, it counts. And Stephen Crichton in the centre. So Sebo and Crichton to score a try at any time into both teams to have a player put on report coming into week 2 and week 3, technically, of the finals.
Who is
a massive bold prediction? Yeah,
Sebo for that one.
Sebo.
Yeah. Troy?
Look, I would love to see a massive Parramatta victory like yourself, Adam, but I think this is going to be a close tussle. And like Hayden, I'm going to go the margin of 4 points. I'm going to go 18-14. I think Penrith will get that early penalty goal and then score 2 converted tries. We'll just score 3 converted tries. And speaking of tries, the first try scorer will be Will Penasini. He nearly got across the line at Bluebet when we first played them, but he was held up and then snuck that ball out to Guppo and scored. So, and my bold prediction is going to be Little Reedy kicking a 40-20, which will lead to a Parramatta try.
You've done that one before.
Have I?
He hasn't got it right,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. This is finals time now. So.
All right, Matt, you probably had these ready all week. What do you got?
No, I didn't think we were going to do finals one, so I didn't prepare anything.
Oh, all right. So
looking at the Mac.
Okay, Matty. Okay, Matty. What about this? What about this for a bold prediction? For you, we see a kick and chase off the scrum for a try.
No, we don't have anybody fast enough.
Longer Blake?
Yeah, he's pretty quick. Did you not see Sivo's speed last week?
Yeah. But I think Edwards would cut it off too quick.
Anyway, go on, Matt.
Looking at the referees and the video refs, I think
he's already got an excuse. He is from Penrith.
No, we're safe. There's no Atkins, no Klein. We're pretty safe. So no Parra junior life members. Just throwing it out there as referees. But I'm gonna go. I'm with Adam. There's something brewing. The boys, you see it. I feel like watching Junior's interview, watching Reg's interview, all the talk was about how aggressive Penrith forward pack is and how this and that. And they just looked at each other and smirked and went, what about us kind of thing. I think it's going to be a big score. So I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to say 38-6.
That is big.
Right?
Wow. That's a bold prediction as well.
Right? I'll probably get laughed at all the pages like I did before.
Good on you, mate. Good on you. Stick solid.
They laughed at me when I predicted to score 50 against Brisbane too. That made a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. So 38-6. I'm going to go first try scorer Mitch. I was tossing up Guffo or Mitch, but I'm going to say Guffo for a hat-trick as my bold prediction. Because I feel like he's on. I feel like even
Mate.
there's a photo here that if you saw it, like, it's him staring at the trophy and the look that Isaiah Yeo is giving him, the angry look. I don't know whether it was put on by the photographer, but just the whole time staring at that trophy, I feel like Guffo's in for a big one. And yeah, just watching all the interviews and that little bit on Parra's Instagram where he said, "Get out to the game and see what we can do." That kind of makes me happy.
Look, Matt, Adam, I hope your big scores do get up, but I'd just be happy just to win by 1 point.
Matt, if we win by 30 plus, I'm stripping down to the budgie smuggler, and that's all I'm wearing out of that game. All right.
And the L Eels mask.
And then, I better cover my face up.
You promised someone earlier. He's got his bold prediction ready
Right.
for you.
Oh, he's got it.
We've got a
Special
special guest here. It's not the
Special
Penrith
guest.
Panthers fan. We've got RXYSV too. He's written down his prediction. He'll be at the game across from the Parra Bay, I believe. So he'll be one bay across, whereas we'll be in the Parra Bay. What are your predictions?
Is this a premiere?
Come a bit closer, mate.
All right. So this is my prediction. The Eels will come out firing first half and second half. But this one will be definitely big. Eels by 24.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
So what's your score?
So first try scorer, Clint Gutherson. And anytime, Isaiah Papali'i.
What's your
Nice.
bold prediction on the spot?
What's your
Bold
score?
prediction. Somebody gets some bin
24-0.
Dylan Brown will score 2 tries and will get man of the match.
Oh, nice work. Let's see if he gets a point next week.
What's the
24-0.
actual score, but
24-0.
What's the score, but?
Yeah, I could say 24-0.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
No, he's
We'll go
dreaming.
24.
Right.
Let's go.
All right, thanks for your contribution, Reece. You've been a valued member of the team. All right, let's move on. Let's get to the Paradise Takeover. Look, we touched on it before. Penrith didn't want to move the game to a call. Now the fans are playing. There's more Parramatta fans have bought tickets. Troy, you said a funny stat about us buying, 35%? Was that based on the code?
Yeah, this was on the Telegraph. They reported that they got some statistics that, 35% of the sales were from Eels members.
There you go. So that's when you think about this, 35%, there would have been 3,000 tickets, obviously, as well. About 3,000 held back for the NRL members and all the kind of things and the tickets they got to give away there for families and things like that. So if 35% have been just bought with the Eels code, and then you think about the potential that people would have been passing around the Panthers code, you got Panthers mates who would have been buying tickets for
Panthers
Eels.
Panthers sent me the email to get tickets.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
But you've also got Panther fans buying Eels fans tickets.
Eels
as well.
fans, and it's common. Like, look at you two.
Yeah.
As a prime example, you live in Penrith. Everyone out there supports them. So if you've got mates, obviously you can buy those tickets. And then we look at the fact too, as well, that the tickets did go to the general public sale. I know there wasn't much left, but it can show you that what we expected with 35,000 Parramatta members and 20,000 Penrith fans, there is a large possibility there's going to be, if not level, but more Parramatta fans there. So get excited for the Paradise Takeover. As I said, if you're on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, use that hashtag. But let's get to the event. First of all, I'd like to give a massive thanks to the team at Penrith Paceway, Club Paceway, I believe it's called. They're obviously pretty close to the stadium. Had a good chat with them this morning, and they rang me back. They're keen to have us. As I said, like half the people in Penrith, it seems like that. Half their staff actually support Parramatta, so they're looking forward to have us. They've opened up the upstairs for us to give us an extra 500 capacity. And obviously they said anyone's allowed in, kid-friendly, those kinds of things. We've joined forces with a couple of different pages and waiting to hear back and see if Parramatta will obviously give us a bit of a plug. But if you're a Parramatta fan, you're listening to the podcast, you're seeing it around, get there, get the Club Paceway, get there early, we'll create a bit of atmosphere. The Blue and Gold Barracks will be coming in and bringing the drum in, so we'll try and get some chants going for a bit. And I believe if you go up and mention Troy's Parra Cave podcast, Troy will buy you a beer. So how wonderful. How wonderful. Thanks, Troy, for your once again.
What can I say? But, for the young people out there, there's also potentially of a TikTok star and an Instagram star turning up as well. massive Eels fan. So, Matty, who's that?
Tex.
I thought you were talking about Parra Profit. But he's going to be there.
No,
as
well,
That'll be-
he'll probably turn up as
Both. There's
he'll
gonna
probably
be a
turn up
couple.
as well and be
We've got
screaming "Go
Entertain House
Parra!"
coming.
Go
Entertain
Parra
House,
all
yeah.
night. But yeah, look, it's going to be a great evening, couple of hours pre-game.
100% it will be. We'll get the place rocking. Obviously, look, if we all look to leave about 7 o'clock as well and get across the ground, hopefully we can make some noise going across. So, and breaking news as well, if we do win the game, we'll leave the post games at the Parra Cave Tree.
I think it's potentially shut down at the moment. It's
close
preparing
renovations.
for close for renovations. Preparing for a prelim final. So yeah, maybe
Yeah.
not.
Maybe not. Maybe the post grand final. I need somewhere to go for the next 3 days.
Well,
All right,
I'll be in Parramatta for the next week
Yeah, I was
after
gonna
that
say.
grand
Yeah,
final.
mate.
So
Me and my brother have got this planned out that he's had it planned out that we win. Obviously, we kick on for the night and then we're going to pancakes on the rocks for breakfast. Mate, this has been planned out for a lot of years and it hasn't happened.
1 week at a time, but Adam.
1 week at a time. Let's not get too excited. We'll get to those plans.
That's right.
All right. So, look, I said hopefully everyone get out there and let's get this win and get that prelim final.
Go Parra! Come on,
Paradise takeover.
Paradise.